Welcome back to another episode of the Kaleidoscope Maker. And this time I'm going to show you another method of how to make a turning object chamber for a kaleidoscope. And this time I'm going to show you how to make one like this out of brass tubing. You can make it larger. The concept works the same on large scale or smaller. You can even take it and make it smaller if you've got the lenses and the materials and everything else. And as you see, the end rotates. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of the Kaleidoscope Maker, and I apologize for the noises going around. I'm doing some work. But I wanted to show you some more of the methods of making rotating object chambers. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of the large tube to show you, but I wanted to show you the concept of how they do it with the cardboard tubes and with other tubes. And I'll get started, so hold on. What I'd like to show you is what I call the sliding tube or sleeve method. Typically what it consists of, and there's a varieties of these, so I'm going to try to show you some of them. But basically what it consists of is 3 tubes, of which I may have cut one of these things wrong. Yeah. One slides into the other one and slides into the other one. They're supposed to, because I need to clean them up more. But they're telescopic tubing. You know, one slides into one, there it goes. One slides in the other one, and I know you really can't see this one, but there's a that one slides into that one, that one slides into that one. I've been working with these in order to cut parts, so they're a little tight right now. So let me go ahead and show you one of the basic principles. This is typically what a cardboard kaleidoscope tube looks like. I have what would be the rotating object chamber piece. I have the body tube. And then what I have are 3 rings. These 3 rings all fit. As you can see from what I'm doing here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. These 3 rings all fit inside the most smallest diameter tube, as you can see there. And again, they're a little tight. Okay, so there's one, there's another one, and there's another one. And there's 3 tubes. Now the principle of this is quite simple, and I'm going to have to pause and get some glue, so I'll be right back. Now typically when I do this, and I make them out of brass, like these things are made out of brass, I will usually solder them in place, but you can glue them, especially if you use something like cardboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these rings and I'm going to glue it to the very end of the tube right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm going to glue this one on here. I'm going to take a little bit of E6000 glue, and I probably want to place it inside the ring. I'm going to put that on there and let the glue dry. So we have this one piece. Now this larger piece actually fits over these little rings. As you can see, that one fits inside right there. This one fits on the outside of the smallest, and this fits on the inside of the largest, which this also fits onto the small one. So you have the small size, the middle size, and then a large size. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue one of these rings into the larger tube. Again, I think it's best if I put the glue on the ring. That way, if any pushes it out, if any glue pushes out, it pushes out to the outside. It's also going to be hard for me to stay right in your view here. So, I will put the ring on the inside of that tube. So now, I don't know if you can see it or not, we have a ring inside that tube. We have a ring on that tube. And then we have this last ring. And once this dries, I'll come back to it and show you what this does. So again, I have one ring on the end of the small tube, and I have one ring on the inside at one end of the large tube. And actually what that should do should allow the one tube to slide over the other one. Again, this glue is not dried, so I don't know how well it's going to work. Yeah, it's going to come off. So I better let the glue dry, and I'll be back. Alright, now with it dry, again, I'll show you here. As you can see, this one has a little sleeve right here of the larger ring. And hopefully on the inside you can see in there that there's a little ring inside there. You can see the edge of it. Show you on this end, you can see it there. Okay, so that allows this one now to slip over that one. And this turns, which is what we want to accomplish. You see there? Create the turning object chamber. But now the thing is, you've got to pin the interior one in place because this is still going to slide. So all you have to do now is take another ring that's again the same size as the two little rings and put that in there. Now I'm going to have to glue that in there and it'll hold in place. But then if I do that with this other tube inside, I'm going to have to make sure that my object chamber fits in here. Now, what you can do is you can actually use this as part of your object chamber as well as holding this ring in place, which a number of kaleidoscopes do. All we need to do is cut a piece of glass that fits inside of this one. It's just a little bit larger than this. Slide it in there, put a ring in, and then that becomes the start of your object chamber, which I'll be right back after I cut a piece of glass. So now I've ground a piece of glass. Hopefully you can see that there. And again, like I said, I have the one tube with the ring inside sliding over the smallest tube with the ring on the outside. Again, that creates a turning object chamber right here. Now I'm going to put the piece of glass down in here, and I'm lucky it fits. So there's a piece of glass to start the object chamber. Now I'm going to glue this ring in here. Put a little glue on it. Using E6000. I don't want this too tight right now. I'm going to slide my ring in there. and I'm going to push it down up against the glass, and the glass will act like a little bit of a buffer. So now I even have a little lip there. If I can bring this in and show you, see there's a little lip there to where I can put another piece of glass to close off the object chamber. This object chamber is a little bit big. I probably wouldn't have it as thick as I do. I'd probably make it smaller. But there is a traditional kaleidoscope, and I've sanded this so that you can see the difference. This piece turns rather smoothly, and that's using an outer sleeve, 3 rings. This ring here on the end helps lock it into place, and I've used a piece of glass to make the end of the object chamber, then 2 other rings to butt up against each other, and then the smallest tube on the inside. So there is one method of making a turning object chamber kaleidoscope. You don't have to make it out of brass. It can be made out of cardboard, wood, whatever you want, but all this does is capture that little middle ring that's attached to this, holds it inside, and this is what I call the telescopic tubing, or the sleeve method, whatever you want to call it. This is the traditional one used in cardboard kaleidoscopes, and it gives you a larger object chamber in down here, is what it does. And there's some other methods, and I'll show it to you. And again, I plan to do this again in the future. Hopefully I can get some cardboard tube or some plastic tubing or something and do it again so I can show you. But there you go. Got the first one down. I'm going to do some more just to show you while I've got this telescopic brass tubing. And this, I could just go ahead and put the mirrors in, put a little focus is lost, put a little eyepiece right here, which actually in this case could be a brass washer. I could just solder it right on there, and then I can go ahead and put stuff in here and put my piece of glass on the end, and I'd actually have of course I'd have to be a lens down here, I'd have a working brass kaleidoscope. There you go. Enjoy. The concept there is there. Make as many of these as you want, and again, let me know how you like these videos. Please subscribe if you can. Please let people know about them. If you want to help support me, there are a number of options. I'm now working with Patreon. You can give me a monthly contribution on that. You can also do a one-time $10 of funding through YouTube. And anything you do to help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, and be back for more.